Welcome to Up Your Stack podcast. I'm Noah Berk, host of the show. I'm also the co-CEO of Aptitude 8, an elite HubSpot solutions partner. Every week we feature some of our favorite developers who've either built their apps on HubSpot or integrated with HubSpot to help you get the most out of your HubSpot tech stack. And today I have a fantastic guest, Eric, who's with Laxis, joining us today to talk about his products and what he's built in the ecosystem. And hint, it has a lot to do with AI, but we'll get to that in a second. Eric, welcome to the show.
Sure, thanks for having me, Noah.
Awesome. And Eric, where I'd like to begin is, I know before you were mentioning to me you had a couple of different products as part of the solution that you're building. Kind of tell me, how did this all come about in the first place? Why create Laxis? And then what are you really solving for these days?
For sure, that's a great question. So before I was an entrepreneur building Laxis, I was a venture investor. I was mostly investing in AI software companies in Silicon Valley. At that time, many people feel like venture investor, you're on the buy side, right? But my personal experiences feel I'm on the sell side. I need to do a lot of research about companies, startups, founders, before I decide to reach out to them. And when I reach out to them, having a conversation, I need to take note. And after the meeting, I need to write investment memos, due diligence report, updating our internal CRM systems. So remember that was back in 2020. So at that time, there's no real AI automation to help me automate the process from research, writing notes, updating our internal CRM systems. So I want to build something to solve that problem. And I know if I build something for investor, it's a too small segment. I won't be successful. I won't be building a big company, right? But I realize it's not just a challenge for investors. It's a challenge for everybody dealing with the customers, sales, BDs, consultant, right? We also have the same challenge. Then I believe I can build a large company around solving this problem. That's the initial idea when I started Laxis.
Oh, I think that's pretty fantastic. I mean, it's a common theme for a lot of the individuals I speak to on this podcast is you're solving it for yourself. So one of the things you mentioned earlier is like, hey, listen, you didn't just want to solve it for the venture community. You want to solve it for a bigger community. So who are you targeting? Like who's now using this product? And I guess who's your ideal customer?
So when we first start, our first product is AI Meeting Assistant. During that time, COVID happened, so we had customers from everywhere. Like anyone working remotely can use Laxis. Nowadays, we have actually narrowed down into a revenue team. So majority of our customers are sales, BDs, consultant who are using Laxis to generating lead from their customers, taking note with their conversation with the customers, updating their CRM and follow up. So I would say initially when we first launched due to COVID, we are kind of broad. Today, we are more and more focusing on the revenue team side.
Interesting. And what has been the experience for revenue team? So like before they're using Laxis and then after using Laxis, like what's the impact on the organization or their own efforts?
For sure. I think there are two perspectives. So Laxis now has evolved into like a platform, or people call it copilot. We have multiple features, right? So there are two major perspectives. The first perspective is on the AI meeting note taking and CRM update. For example, using Laxis AI Meeting Assistant, we can take meeting notes, generating meeting summary, personalized report. A lot of customers like to define their own report. And updating CRM, nobody wants to update CRM. So we can generate notes, activity, contacts, automatic after each call. So on average, based on our customers' feedback, AI Meeting Assistant can save them at least 5 hours per week. And on another product, our new product we launched this year, AI SDR, we automatically reach out to your potential customers through AI email, phone calls, right? And we can generate more lead for our customer, for the revenue leaders, with much lower cost. So I would say that's the impact we are bringing to the revenue team.
Interesting. Okay. And are we seeing like an uplift in revenue generated? Like, are you seeing like 10%, 20%, 30%, or is it just vary from company to company?
So I would say vary from company to company. We are seeing more success from like slightly larger companies. The reason is usually when people already have a playbook or they have already found a product market fit, they just need to scale. Using Laxis the best. We do have some customers, especially in our early days. There are some smaller company founders with 1% to 5% to 10%. So they are still trying to find the product market fit. They don't have a marketer to help them write the right message, right? In that case, even an AI can be a little bit struggling because we can help you scale, right? Scale help you reduce tedious work, but sometimes You still need to find product market fit, find the right messaging, the right target, your ICP in the first place.
If you have like a product market fit and you kind of have maybe that marketing team to help you think through messaging, this is a great fit because then it's a force multiplier for your sales team without them having to think through that messaging. And so it sounds like we're saving a lot of time, people who are leveraging this, just administrative time within the CRM, note taking, everything. Now, I have to say, I still take notes on all my calls, even though I use AI on top of it to be able to take notes. I've learned I retain information better as I type it out.
Yeah.
How do you help reps with the retaining of that information?
You mean retaining information from the notes, right?
Yeah.
So there are two places. First, all the conversation meeting summaries automatically saved into Laxis Cloud. That's the first place.
Yeah.
Second, the notes and email activity. So if you use your AI SDR, we also have this email, phone call. All the conversations are updated into your CRM under contact as an activity. So everything is saved into your CRM as well.
That's awesome. So there's obviously a lot of software out there now who does what's called voice recording, AI, transcription, like the whole works. How do you really differentiate yourself in this competitive marketplace?
For sure. There's, like you said, there's AI note taker, right? But we are more than just AI note taker. So we consider ourselves as AI copilot from lead generation, getting you more meetings to help you take note during meetings and help you update your CRM and follow up. So I would say we are kind of like a one-stop shop or end-to-end solution, or I would call it like an AI copilot. I think that's a more accurate word.
Yeah, interesting. So more of a co-pilot. And how are you staying ahead of the competitors? Like, what if someone's going to evaluate you versus one of the competitors? Why would they pick your solution over one of the competitors' solutions?
Sure. We are seeing two group of customers. Some customer come to us, say they are mostly focused on AI meeting assistant. They take note, right? Those customers usually has a limited budget because a larger enterprise probably will go for GOM, right? Which is more expensive with more kind of like more comprehensive. But for many SMBs, they don't need that many comprehensive or like more advanced analytics. So Laxis has already saved up time by taking notes, updating CRM. So they are happy with a simpler solution. That's one group customers. The second group customers, they need more lead, more revenue, but they have constraint on their SDR team. They want like a more affordable, more scalable solution. They also come to Laxis. And certainly the alternative is that tool like Outreach, right? And Apollo Reach. There's many like tools, but they don't have people in place to operate those tools. So Laxis provides them like full automation to just set up once and generating the lead for them.
Sounds pretty amazing, Eric. If it just sets up once and starts generating leads for you, it almost seems like a no-brainer. So I guess this brings me into my next question. I understand you guys have integrated with HubSpot. Yep. What does this exactly do within the HubSpot platform itself? And how does it work?
For sure. The first place we integrate HubSpot is after you have every meeting, right? Laxis will automatically summarize the meeting. And you can also create your own template, your own report. Laxis will send this report to your CRM system under each contact. For example, you had a meeting with customer A. After the call, customer A will have a new activity, including the summary, action items, and under that contact as an activity. Also, during the lead generation phase, if we outreach to a potential customer through an email, the email content and the customer reply will also be automatically updated into your CRM under that contact. I would say all the conversations with your customer, either potential customer or existing customer, email, and also the call conversations, right? The script, the summary will all be uploaded into your CRM, so you have a full record of your conversation interaction with the customer.
And how long does it take to get this set up?
We build our system as simple as possible. For AI meeting assistant, all you need to do is connect your calendar and your CRM system. That's all you need to have. For our AI SDR lead generation, all you need to provide Laxis is you need to set up once, probably in 10 minutes, to provide the company information, product information, who you are targeting, and also your inbox to receive the positive response. I would say setting up everything shouldn't take like more than 20 minutes.
I mean, that's pretty fantastic, especially if they're going to be able to generate that amount of time savings of being able to leverage such a tool. And then in terms of like HubSpot, like what do you see as their growth and how are you going to complement that over the years? Because HubSpot obviously is investing a lot in AI as well.
I would say CRM system like HubSpot is a foundation for any revenue team, right? It's a central place for their knowledge, their customer data. And we are building on top of it. Certainly, HubSpot, Salesforce, and other CRM systems try to grow above, evolving into more features, right? So I don't
Yeah.
think we are competing with HubSpot anytime soon. So given what we are building and what they are building, I see more collaboration rather than competing, at least for the next year or two.
Interesting. Okay. And let's talk a little bit about obviously AI. In 2020, it was before the days of ChatGPT coming out
Yes.
there. So, perhaps we'll say you were pretty early in the AI space. Obviously, people have been working on it for quite some time. What's the future of AI? I mean, obviously, in your own personal experience, building out products that really are foundational, leveraging AI to be able to do what it does. Like, what do you see as the future of AI in general when it comes to sales and marketing activities? And then, B, where's your product headed?
I mean, AI has been popular for the past 2 to 3 years, right? And people had very high expectation for AI. Some people even feel AI is a magic wand that they can just use and get what they want. But I would say the hype of AI, I'm not saying it's coming to an end, but people are having a more realistic expectation about AI. So finding the right use case, really 10x or even 20x people's productivity is what people will be focusing on in the next 2025, I think. Because previously, people may feel this is something popular, they want to try it. Now people want to see the ROI. It's no longer a popular thing, they want to see the real return on their investment. I would say that's a major focus for all the AI startups, just making sure you can bring 10 times or 20 efficiency and the return to your customers' investment.
And I think that's a really big thing. And also, I mean, I think it's becoming pretty commonplace that AI is baked into all software. If you're a software company now and you don't have AI somehow baked into it, it'd be like being I think I may have said it on this podcast before, it'd be like having a word processor like Microsoft Word or Google Docs and not having spell check. You're not a word processor at that point. If you don't have spell check, you're not a software company.
Yeah,
If you don't have AI baked into what you're doing to improve
sure.
productivity, do you kind of
Sure.
see it the same way? Or do you see AI as becoming more standalone?
I would say when I was a venture investor, AI company is a typical AI company. I won't say typical, I take it back. So at that time, AI company, they need to train their model, right? They need to raise a lot of funding, clean their data, train their model, hire data engineers. So AI was an entry barrier at that time. Nowadays, AI is no longer an entry barrier. Like you said, every software company can build an AI feature, but still, people need to look back to see, is this AI feature really going to help our customer, or it's just a
Sure.
fancy thing to put in your company's website? I do think AI can be applied into many places, but we also see some surveys, some people are saying that they are actually spending more time or they don't see much value from AI. So I would say for other startup founders, and I also think about this myself, is this AI features really going to help our customer, or is it just a fancy thing that I will put there?
Is it simply just window dressing,
Yeah.
or is it actually providing value in the end? So, going from Eric, from a investor to a founder and starting a company, what would you say are kind of the biggest eye-opening experiences that you thought one way but you learned another way? Because I think now you probably have a lot more empathy for
Yeah.
other founders than perhaps as an investor.
I would say before I was an investor, I spent majority of my career, more than 80 years as an engineer. So deep down in my heart, I'm still a builder, engineer.
Yeah.
One thing I learned during this startup journey is I should start small. I should start early with sales, channels, marketing, rather than building a product. That is one mistake I made. So we spend early days, we spend a lot of time refining our product without thinking about channels, go to market. And I think that's one thing I made a mistake as a first-time founder. As a VC, especially I was investing in A round to C round. Usually the company has already figured out their go-to-market strategy, have already found out their perfect market fit. When I become a founder, I kind of have to deal from the very beginning, right?
Yeah.
From the very 0 to 1. So when I'm making investment, I usually already see a company as it's being 1 to 100. So when I deal with 1 to 0, I focus too much on building a product rather than go-to-market, sales, marketing. Yeah, if
Yeah.
I do it again, I probably will balance a little bit between building a product and go-to-market.
Well, it's interesting you mention it, and perhaps you're aware of kind of the HubSpot story. For the first, I don't know, several years of HubSpot's existence, they were a blog. They didn't have a product. They weren't selling anything. They were a blog, and I remember it back in the day because I used to be in internet marketing sales years and years ago. I don't want to date myself too much, but call it almost 15 years ago. And I remember reading that blog and be like, this is fantastic information. No one knows about SEO or pay-per-click or all this stuff. And HubSpot's just freely publishing all this information, and is really fascinating because that's how they started figuring out their market, what they want to build, what they are going to build. So, Eric, I think that's really enlightening for individuals. Going from 0 to 1 is incredibly hard.
Yeah.
Like incredibly hard if you're a product company. As they say in professional services, it's easy to get started, harder to scale, versus products, harder to get started, easier to scale. So it's like, both ways.
Yeah, it's a trade-off.
It's a trade-off. And I think a lot of people also forget in the professional services world, your largest companies in the world, the Deloitte, the Accentures, they're all professional service organizations. Like they're still great business models in the end, but I think you really kind of nailed it. And perhaps your product can help. I'm sure you used your product in the beginning, as they say, eat your own dog food, I guess, to help you identify the go-to-market. So essentially, your advice for other entrepreneurs who are maybe starting a company is that 0 to 1. What is your GTM? Focus on your marketing, focus on your sales, perhaps focus on a niche that you can dominate before expanding outwards, which I think is great advice. Anything else you have that you'd like to kind of part ways as either words of wisdom or advice for other entrepreneurs or people building on HubSpot or interested in the HubSpot ecosystem?
Really think about your competitive advantage. So how you are going to build something that is unique, creating value to a customer, and you can defend kind of from other competitors.
I think that's great advice. There is so much. Have you ever seen that MarTech landscape document out there? I encourage you to Google it, and you can see the tens of thousands of technologies. Go back 15, 20 years and look at one of those maps, and you could easily recognize every logo. Now they look like pixels, not actual logos. So Eric, first of all, thank you so much for joining us on the show today. It was really great to have the opportunity to talk with you here. Eric, if people are interested in learning more about you or more about Laxis, how do they go about finding information?
They can go to our website, check our product, laxis.com. They can also email me at eric@laxis.com as well. So yeah, feel free to reach out to me.
Awesome. Eric, again, thank you for joining us. And then listeners, thank you for joining us and listening to today's podcast. That wraps it up. Again, Up Your Stack is a weekly podcast featuring developers who've either built their apps on HubSpot or integrated with HubSpot to help you get the most out of your HubSpot tech stack. And again, if you have interest in learning how to get more out of your HubSpot tech stack, or maybe you're looking to implement HubSpot, feel free to reach out to Aptitude 8, which is a proud sponsor of Up Your Stack. They'd be happy to help you. Of course, you can reach out to me directly on LinkedIn here as well. Again, thanks for joining, and that's a wrap. Thanks.
Thank you.